this out.
What's going
Ah.
on? I can stay so strong behind the wall. And we gon' take it to the justice system.
What happened?
I'm not a kid, Dawson. I'm not a kid. I ain't seen something like this since the 90s. So show me, I can highlight you.
You may just read about it, but you gon' think about it, 'cause we about to speak about it. We so crowded, all filled up with melanin. Kick screamed and we shouted, we deserve better. Now it's time to listen.
We almost here.
Bad.
Yes. No more COVID, no more masks. We are on our way. We just got a little bit caught up. We are a minute out. We're gonna be in the studio in 1 minute. Unfortunately, we just got caught in traffic, and you know, guys, I'm a diabetic, so I got a little sick. But we good. We good. We had a lot of exciting things. We made history yesterday with the Women of the Wall. We have a prayer group going. We talking about.
Yeah.
We want God to move and bring of our loved ones home from, you know, being behind the wall. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. I am just excited. Wilfredo is here with some great information. Plus, this Friday we will officially be a nonprofit LLC, so we can do some more stuff for the people. You just got off of you missed it.
I don't know
what the heck just happened. It say arrived. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. We are lost. We try to find.
They are lost, y'all.
We are lost. That's crazy. But anyway, later on in a little while, when we find our way, we lost right now. We're turning around. We got to back up. But we was able to bless a gentleman. His name is Mr. Anthony Blanks. He's coming in live on the show about 6:45. He is one of the incarcerated individuals at Sing Sing Correctional Facility. Mr. Anthony Blank was incarcerated for 47 years, and we've been praying for him. He's never made the board. He's been one of the ones we've been praying for, and we started praying on September the 1st. The following week, when he went to the boards, he is going home. He has
ma'am.
Amen. So he is ecstatic. He's going to come on the show. He's very thankful.
7425 right there?
Yeah, I think so. Is that 7425?
That's what it says right there.
Yeah. Ask Mark. Oh, you can't ask Mark that. Mark, if you can hear me, where is it this right here? We trying to find out where we actually turn into.
Y'all probably
we are all
we
are Old Yoke
address.
Yo, we are Old Yoke Avenue. Is it 2 statues in the front of it?
Yes.
We right here. It's right there. Yeah. We just
my truck. I got a blue truck.
He got a blue truck. Okay, you gotta turn back up. No, he over there.
All right, so you had to turn around here.
Right, and then go back around. Okay. Okay, he got a Mark, I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
I'm about to go in.
This is live. Okay, this is live. We're not in Kansas no more. This is live. This is how we do. But anyway, Mr. Anthony Blake is going to call in, and he's going to tell us his story.
Sit right over there, right?
Yeah. No, you can't do it. Yo, he's about to do some illegal New York stuff.
Oh, Lord, Wilfredo, don't do it. Don't do it.
Hey, listen, I've been known to fracture a law or two in my day.
But we right here now. We pull it. There you go, right there.
Right there. All right.
Yeah, all right. We see Mark. He's bringing us in. So now we know.
Thank you, Mark. We don't know what we'll do without you, Mark.
Okay. He's flagging us in. He running back into the studio. It's gonna be really a great show. We coming right on right now. KP2, how's your dad doing? You saw any updates on him? Anything going on? Leona, tell us.
Yeah, so first off, let me start off by saying the state of Florida prison system is under some renovations. They are bringing the National Guard in to assist because they are so short on staff, short on rooms, short on staff. We got a state of emergency here. I don't know what we're gonna do with the National Guard in the prison system, controlling it.
Okay. Oh my God. Really?
That's how short they are. I found my dad after waiting a month.
Yes, you found your dad. I'm so glad. Did you get the chance to speak to him?
No, I cannot speak to him because he is under confinement. Someone planted
Why?
a weapon is under his bed, so he is in confinement, serving his time.
Wait a minute. How many? You said 7 years?
No, well, he has a lot of years. Like I said, he get out in 2034, but someone planted a knife under his bed, and now he's in confinement for I don't know how long, but he had his visitation suspended for a year. So,
oh man, Dad.
But hopefully, someone steps up and takes the call.
I'm coming in now. I'm hanging up. You can keep talking. I'm hanging up because I'm coming in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully someone steps up and take ownership of the weapon and he can get out of confinement, but still no visitations for up to a year. So prison system is in a bad situation in Florida. And hopefully we get some help from other people besides the actual National Guard. I don't know if that's a good situation for the incarcerated individuals in the state of Florida. But I do encourage you and all of our followers to keep praying. So hopefully when Pamela gets on.
Send me your dad's name so we can add him to the prayer list. Because
yes.
Work. Oh my God. Where's your dad?
Yes, because I get kind of jealous when I see y'all in those pictures. Those pictures look lovely every morning when I get up and y'all are already on praying and y'all have pictures and everything. And it's nice to be able to put a name with the face of who we are actually praying for. So hopefully later on when Mr. Blanks gets on.
Yeah, well, he can't have a picture because he's still incarcerated, but he definitely can, he's definitely gonna be on the phone, but I put up the picture and I want pictures. Well, you know, some people are really funny about pictures and the way they are, people are shy. Because even when we pray in the prayer group, I asked them to give me a praise report and they don't give me a praise report. They like, Pam, you say it. Okay.
Right, because sometimes I mean, they're afraid of repercussions in the prison system because it's not good, and you got to worry about, like, I got to worry about my actions on the outside affecting my loved one that's incarcerated. So I see both sides.
Okay, keep talking. I'm so sorry. We getting set up.
Yeah.
That's what you saying.
I see both sides, and of course,
we setting up now. Keep doing the camera right now.
Keep setting up. Keep setting up.
Yes, we set up. Now we good? We good, Mark? Are you still need to?
Oh, I see y'all. Look at y'all.
Somebody we missed you, or I can see you. Okay. No, but I'm so glad we was able to. We finally got in from New York. All of us is here. Well, Fredo, everybody introduce yourself. Y'all know that we are the Women of the Wall magazine. Well, Fredo is not shy, but the rest of them are shy.
Hi, my name is Tammy. How are you?
Hi, Tammy.
Nice to meet you. Felicia.
Same here.
And you know, Wilfredo.
I'm about to go catch a flight.
Yeah, we gotta get you out here, Wilfredo. We gotta get you out here. And we got the press passes now. We official, so I got the press pass. I'm a mail to you.
Yes, ma'am. We've been official.
Yeah, we've always been official, but you know, we got official press pass, so I think I'm cute. But yeah, yesterday, if we had history in the making, we started our Women of the Wall prayer visual September the 1st, and we're going for 90 days. So in the 90 days that we are doing, we asking God to move on behalf of 100 of our women, men and women that are incarcerated. So we started on September the 1st, and we've been praying faithfully 5 a.m. And I also start with a scripture. I might play a little music. And, you know, we have Apostle Kimberly Thomas that's going around, and also the Queen of Collaboration. You know, Angie is a part of it, of course. And we come on and we pray, and the ladies at the table, we pray, and we've been in prayer. It's 18 days now, and then I fast from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. every day because I want them. Oh, you don't even know the good news about Corey, but I'll tell you that in a minute. So we've been praying for the whole 90 days, and coincidence, well, not a coincidence, nothing but a coincidence, but God was moving, and Mr. Anthony Blake, he's been going to parole for the last 40-some years, right?
Yeah.
Last 40-some years. We've been praying. When he came home he came back to the correctional facility, he was overwhelmed with joy. He was like, yo, tell your wife, continue to pray because I'm going home into the free world. So that was the praise report that we gave. And God said, when man says no, God says yes. And I know for sure, and he knows, he said he knows it has nothing to do with the power of prayer. We pray for him. And then we were able to yesterday get him a visit for the first time in years. So the Women of the Wall, we put together one of my old co-workers and girlfriends, her name is Denora Horta. She's an ex-model. She's so cute. She came and she gave him a visit, and he was just overwhelmed with joy. He was so happy. He thanked us. Also, we got funds together for him and got him a nice little care package to go along with some of his stuff because he has no family at well. We in his family. And I said to him, and I meant this with all my heart, we ain't letting another shark, he ain't gonna be Shawshank Redemption. No way, no how. We are family for life. And he was just so overwhelmed. He was tearful, you know, he just sent me a very heartfelt email, and he's gonna be calling in to talk to us, and you guys can ask questions, and if anybody else wanna call in, I'll give you the number in a minute, but we just got in from Philly. Thanks KP2 for holding us down. I got a plug in my phone somewhere. Anybody else want to talk about our kid? Well, Fredo, say something while I check this out.
Hello, everybody. Kay was good. It's good to see you. A lot has been going on. A lot of good has been going on that we've been dealing with. The most important thing I want to just make sure to reiterate is that, you know, I've known Mr. Blanks for a long time when I was inside before I was released last year. He's one of the few that were really in the state that really did over 40 years in prison, and now he's going to be released. And I'm going to be able to, well, actually, I'm very proud to be able to be helping him in his reentry process, which is kind of like the culture that we want to perpetuate. Everybody that goes home needs to make it easier for the next person to go home and the next person to go home, so that we leave no man or woman behind. And that's something that's very important when we're dealing with reentry, and as well as just trying to put together a lot of the fractured pieces that we have from the Black and Brown community. So I'm very proud to be a part of that. And it was a collective effort from the Women of the Wall and there's other organizations that Sing Sing. And what's good to say, even though you don't always see it, is a lot of the correctional officers are glad that he has something to come home to. Because when you've been down 47 years, it's real hard to kind of piece everything back together. So that's something that's real important. I'm very excited to be in the studio. It's not something that I'm used to. The drive wasn't that bad. I think I kind of doubted the Philly traffic. But I definitely say that we have a lot in store that's going on right now. And I guess I'll just go ahead and turn it back to Kim.
I wasn't even ready. Yeah, but we was like, yesterday was really, I could not stop crying. I kept crying. I kept being joyful because he is just an amazing individual and he is just so humble. And he wrote me a very heartfelt email to, you know, let me know that he said now he believes he's gonna be okay. Because at first he was nervous and afraid, like what Freddie was saying, they don't have anybody. Like, you know, they don't have, he has, when I say nobody, he has nobody. Matter of fact, he went to prison the year before my husband was born. So that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. And I was 7 when he went to prison. So that's, I didn't even think they had people in prison like that. Like, I didn't think that exists. And another thing I wanted to reiterate was this gentleman was a lifer with parole. So he was a lifer. And now when you look at his record, it says pending release date. So I am like, it's so excited for him.
Hey.
I was like, yes, so your daddy coming home too, girl. We got him in prayer too. But on another note, which I started praying for is because out of nowhere, you know, I do a lot of my medical crap. So I was doing some medical stuff and I was drawing somebody's blood. And the young lady said to me, oh, you know, I don't know why she started talking about Sing Sing. I can't stand Sing Sing. And I can't stand Governor Hochul. And she was going in. And I'm like, why is she talking about Sing Sing? And then she said, I'm part of I'm one of the directors of the Project Clemency Project. Clemency Project. Is that the way it's called?
Yes.
I said, you who? I started. I said, what you said? Who you are again? And she was going.
Messed up that lady blood work.
Okay, now I said, let me do a dance for a minute. Okay, let me calm down. So she said who she was. I said, well, let me ask you. And then she was saying how, you know, they had just helped a gentleman that was in Sing Sing for like 40-something years again come home. And that's one of her good friends now, and he's on a clemency project too. So I said, you know what? Well, I have a husband, you know, that he need a little bit of help. But when I told her his story, she was like, write his numbers down right now. I was like, okay. So I wrote the numbers down, but I don't like to tell him anything until, you know, I didn't even have to tell him that. And the next thing I know, Joseph Nursey set up a legal call for him. Corey couldn't get to the phone quick enough to tell me that they about to take me to court. I said, I know. He said, how you know? I said, because the person that did it, and I said her name. He was like, that's Shorty? And I said, everybody's Shorty. I said, yeah, I said, it's her. But the Resentencing Act is what they're happy about with him, and he's one of the 300 and something cases that came up. He's one of the ones. So the lawyer has spoken to me several times. So we're getting letters together, and between her and him, they said Corey will be. She said, I'm telling you, he won't be home by next year. I was like, I said, do not make me cry and do a split and dance in here. But it was like, well, I decided in August, I said, you know what? I'm gonna have to do something on my end. And all I know is the price. So, and honestly, Angela and Apostle Kimberly Thomas, since we stopped our prayer visual back and we stopped the 121 days, the L3 project, we stopped that in May. So between the two of them, they've been trying to contact me to tell me they had that God laid something on their heart for me back in June. But you know, as the summer goes, you get busy, all these things are going on. And I reached out to Kimberly, to Mr. Apostle Thomas, and she was like, Pamela, I have something to tell you. And I said, what? She said, August the 2nd, when she was in her private time praying, God said to her, and the prison's gates were open. And she thought immediately about me. And Angela said she got the same message, and they thought about me. And they was going to tell me I needed to start a prayer visual, but I already started it and asked them to be a part of it. So that's confirmation. And then God said, okay, I'm going to give you some more confirmation. I'm not going to start with your husband, but I'm going to start with somebody. And so, you know, everybody at this table all these ladies, they on the line when we pray every morning. And they've been having praise reports too. Not only is he moving, he's moving with giving their husband a car spirit. They're moving with giving them their husband told, because I know they get depressed again. I know it could get lonely in there. And I know we don't know. We try our best to be, because to be a prison wife, it's a special type of person because it's a job. I don't care what nobody say. Yesterday, when we were trying to get into the prison for Mr. Anthony Blanks' visit, one of Corey's longtime friends that helped support him, his name is Steph. I was surprising him with him, and he was coming. I mean, he was up there with us. Carmen was helping me with him. He had just had an accident, and he had two legs. He had two. His legs were broken. So yesterday when he came up, he had his cane with his two things. So I said, where you at? Where you at? He said, I'm walking down the hill. I said, well, what, are you sure you at the right place? It was like 30 minutes in. He said, man, you forgot I was there. I said, oh, right, you was an accident. So we was laughing. So finally when he got down, I said, wait a minute, you sure you could come in? Because, no, because he was on parole for whatever time. So he said, well, they said being in Greenhaven. I said, that's Greenhaven. Sing Sing is a different animal, I hear. And sure enough, Martinez, CO, let him go all the way through up to when he was right there at the gate. And then she gonna come and say, is this you? He was like, what? She said, yeah, you need to get a letter. I could have just punched her in her throat.
Oh my God.
After all of that, he was limping. I said, that's the same one that told me last year Corey was already to visit, and it was in November. So I was kind of upset that he wasn't able to get in, but Denora did get in for Mr. Blanks, and we was waiting for him to come down, and it was funny because they was like, why are they just taking so long? But I knew he was waiting for Mr. Blanks is gonna be 70 in February. So he's a little older gentleman, you know, he's not frail. Y'all saw the pictures on Facebook. He's not frail, but he's still an older gentleman. And he said, oh, I'm waiting. And they was like, well, look at what you waiting for. He was like, cuz old head is coming. They was like, you don't ever get a visit. Trust me, he coming. And that's when they called him, and then he helped him downstairs, and Denora hugged him, and he didn't even know what to do. He was just sitting there like, all I want is orange juice. She was like, nah, we got food for you. We gonna feed you. So he had a good visit, and it was really, it warmed my heart that he was able to, you know, and I want to thank, when they had on a white shirt, what they saw him.
Yes,
Sergeant Hernandez.
yes.
Sergeant Hernandez, I want to thank Sergeant Hernandez because all the CEOs are not bullies or badges, not all. And Sergeant Hernandez is a very nice woman, and she really helped with him being on a visit. And a lot of people were talking to him and giving him congratulations because he's never been on a visit. So yesterday he was on a visit and he was able to exchange him. This is him. Sorry guys. This is our guest. They can hear.
An incarcerated individual at New York State
That's
Department
not
of
my
Corrections.
No.
Preventing
They do all of this because somebody tried to hand me something.
small, quick individual disabilities. Communicate with them. Set charges, press 1 to reduce your energy producing 0. You may start the conversation now.
Hello? Is this Mr. Anthony Blake? You are on the air live, Mr. Felicia. Percy, stop playing. Say something to the people crazy. We live on the radio. You play too much. Percy just knows when you see him on the next time. All right, well, That's Mr. They took, again, as you can see, he's an older gentleman, he don't know how to support anything, but.
As you can see, there is a community inside.
Yeah,
And what happens is that we have to kind of sort of acclimate someone who has been away from technology for 47 years in order to get ahead and put him in the proper position. And that's what the community on the inside as well as the outside is going to do for Mr. Blanks. So we'll just be a little moment of technical difficulty and we'll be able to have him on there. So I don't think it deserves a punch in the nose. But, you know, I'm a minority probably for that. But, you know, it just goes to show you how, regardless of circumstance, the men inside, we chip in and we make sure that the elders are put in a personal position in order to win. And this is one of those cases.
Beautiful.
Yes, and not only that, I just think it's amazing because they write them off. They write this community off if they're animals, if they're, you know, no good. They just, and it's not true. I mean, I've met. Is he on? Hi, Mr. Anthony. Yeah, this is Pamela. How are you? How are you? You live on Sedora Radio, the Women of the World. We all here, guys.
Hey,
Welcome, welcome.
How you feeling?
Mr. Anthony, this is Wilfredo Lavaquente. How you doing? You're gonna be knowing me a little bit more closer as you get closer to going home. I work with a non-for-profit organization, and I also did 20 years of Sing Sing, and I left in July 19th of last year. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to get you acclimated, start to make sure we get you the services and make sure you get what you need. And I'm going to be in contact with a couple of non-for-profit organizations to make sure you're able to come in, make sure you're able to get the care packages, make sure you're able to get the services for the demographic of age that you particularly are. And after all the time that you spend inside, I'll be reaching out to you and I'm going to be sending you my card to other people that you specifically know inside, so that way you'll be able to understand after you see the parole officer the first day you come out. Make sure you come down to the office and make sure you put your name right in the front, and people are going to be able to take care of you and get you what you need, all right?
All right, can I ask you a question?
Sure. Well, what's going to happen is that as soon as you come out, the most important thing is we know you have a date. So my thing is that I will be reaching out to you through different organizations and also kind of mutual friends that we have in common. So you'll be able to go ahead and be rest assured that even though you may be going to Westchester County, that I want you to understand that we're going to be all right. We're going to take this process one day at a time. And what we're going to do is we're going to try to put you in the best possible position to win. So my thing is, I just want you to understand that I know it's difficult, and I'm only 13 or 14 months out of my own reentry process. So I want you to understand that we're going to be here for you. I understand everything's new to you right now, so I want you to take a deep breath. There's going to be a lot that's going to be coming at you in waves, and we're going to make sure that you'll be all right, okay? Yes, it is a lot of time, and there are a lot of non-for-profit organizations that are probably going to want to speak to you, especially RAP and a lot of the bills that are wrapped around trying to make sure that what happens to you doesn't happen to other people. So what I'm saying is that this is the best time for you, even though I would have wanted you to come out on the first parole board. My thing about it is right now, you're coming to a place right now where there's a lot of people that have been formerly incarcerated that are in a lot of different positions in order to help you assimilate back into society after 46 years. So I want you to understand that I hear everything you're saying, and I did 20 years myself before I was released. So my thing is, I know it's less than half of what you spent in, but one day in prison is too much for everyone. So what I want you to do is just understand that there's gonna be highs, there's gonna be lows, there's gonna be good days, there's gonna be some bad days, but we're gonna make sure that the good days outlast the bad days. So I want you to understand that we're already gonna start making a way for you to come out through other organizations. This particular week, I'm having a couple of Zoom calls to try to get you reached out through the facility, through your counselor, to be able to speak to a couple of non-for-profits to put you in the best possible position to win. Because when I win, you win, and when you win, I win. And that's the most important thing that I asked, and I made a promise to myself. That was from the next person that made it easier for me to come out, that I'm gonna make it easier for the next person to come out. And the next person has to make it easier for the next person to come out. So what I want you to understand is I don't even know you, but just doing 20 years, I feel like I met you yesterday. So my thing about it is we're gonna go ahead and take this. I'm gonna make sure you get my contact information, and we're gonna get you up together, and we're gonna get you out here. You understand me?
Like I was also like tricky once I am released, so
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I'm more than know that, especially with the rap campaign and how they are gonna be able to chip in and try to get you where you need to be, that they're definitely gonna reach out to you to want to hear your narrative and want to hear what's going on and what you went through and what it is after all this time to be speaking. So what I'm saying to you is congratulations. I know what it was like when I first found out my decision inside Sing Sing, and to know that you're actually coming home and you can put a date on it. It's something that's still emotional and still turns something different inside of me when I hear other people coming out. So my thing is I know what you're going through, and I know what you're going to go through, and I understand it. And I want you to know, most importantly, that you're not alone.
Yes, you are not alone. And like I told you, this is Pamela. You ain't gonna be homeless. You're not gonna be homeless. I don't hear nobody say, I gotta take you and myself, I will. You will not be homeless. So don't worry about that. Do not be scared, do not be afraid. I made a promise to God, so I can't go remaining on God. So you're not gonna be homeless, okay? For life. You for life. I'm so sorry. You ain't getting rid of us. And Denora is coming to see you. Mhm. Yes.
they do with, networking. I don't always know.
Possibly.
Well, I think it's more than a possibility, Mr. Anthony. I think it's something that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So what I want you to understand, like I reiterate, I know what the reentry process is and I know what it entails. I know it's gonna be a lot for you and a lot to try to catch up after 46 years, but don't try to catch up all in one day. It's gonna come, it's gonna be a process. I understand, and you have a lot of people that are in your corner and you have a lot of people that are going to be rooting for you. So I want you just to remember that, and we're just gonna take it a day at a time.
Yes, definitely. We're gonna have a special article. We want to do an article on you for the wall. And I'm gonna ask you all the questions. I want to ask you your story of, if you don't mind telling us, what happened, how did, this whole journey begin? But we definitely are going to put it in the magazine. Definitely. And we're gonna definitely keep in contact. You have my information, so you can call me anytime. Anybody else want to say something or something?
We look forward to seeing you when you get out.
That's
Be happy about it. They don't be nervous. Keep on working.
I'm anxious too. I just can't wait for you to come out.
So when is the big day? Nah, October the 18th is gonna be the day you release. That's gonna be the day.
And the women in the wall will be there. We will be there with bells on. We're gonna be there.
Nah, you won't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, in the Department of Corrections, they want all their time. And I'm sure you know as well as I do, that they want all their time. So, but the 18th is the day that you're gonna have.
Yeah, he ready. I ain't mad. He ready.
I wish it would have been the next day after they gave you the decision.
Okay.
But but my thing about it is that what it does, it gives us an opportunity to kind of line a lot of ducks in order, because trying to prepare for someone coming out after 46 years is a lot. It's a lot to unpack, forget psychologically or emotionally, as well as just being able to understand that you're coming to a totally different time, a totally different era, and you're gonna need a minute to kind of take a look. We're gonna have to worry about getting you an ID on 125th Street, so we're gonna get you a state ID. And I'm sure 125th Street is not the same as it was 46 years ago. So what I'm saying is that sure. We gotta call that. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Anthony Gray, for coming on. You can call us back. Yeah. All right. I am like, and that's the humble that he does. Like the whole time he was sitting there on the visit, and I was like waving at him. I was like, you want something to eat? He was like, no.
Absolutely.
He was like, look, I said, what you go get a chicken sandwich? Like, it was crazy. We was really trying to like get him, but he was so humble and just so, you hear him, like, and he's nervous. And
He's dead right now.
And you could tell emotionally, he's just like, it's not real to him yet.
Yes.
It's actually surreal.
Yes.
Because the triage is so visceral that he just really was like, I just want to be let go because I don't want someone to take it from me.
Right,
So it's like at that time when I got my date, I knew no one could take it from me unless I did something.
right.
But you could look at him that he's just at a place where he's really psychologically like, this is not gonna happen.
Mhm.
Because he's already had so many denials and so many postponements
Right.
that he doesn't even really wrap his mind around that the 18th is actually, it's been more than the fruition.
No, he should know that. But he's still like, because I think he's going, when we here, I think he's gonna run out. Like I think, I think he's gonna run out because I know anybody. I don't know because I wasn't here when he was with me.
When I was released,
Did you run out?
did I run out? No, you can't run.
Oh,
Okay, so the procedure, there's no running. This is not the wild coyote in the room. This is not happening. So the procedure is that they take you to the station shop, and then what they do is they have a brown bag with your clothes in it, and they have a whole bunch of your papers in them envelopes. They give it to you, you have to sign, they give you the ID, then they take you in a separate bullpen away from the population and wrap it out change into regular clothes, which is something that's different. So then you actually have to sit down in a separate cage away from everybody. And then when you get done after that particular time, then what happens is the officer comes to get you. You go in the van, you have to sit in the back of the van when you go through the first set of iron doors.
Okay.
Now that shows you a prisoner to the person in the tower. Now you have to get out of the back and you have to now verify your name and numbers and go into the front seat. Because that lets the next tower know that you are now a student.
Okay.
And then what they do is they either drop you at the train station, or if you have family coming to get you, they have to meet you at the train station. And then after that, you go to the Hudson Link office.
Mr. Blake? It's okay. We here.
So your family picks you up at the train station?
Yeah, you're not allowed to be in front. It's not allowed. You have to be.
So we had to pick them up
We
at
pick them up,
the.
we pick them up at the train.
At the
When you
train
was
station.
at that.
Or if you go down to the Hudson Link office, if you want to go with your, usually with
I don't
people.
know what the other.
It's okay. It's on State Street.
Mr. Anthony, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't let us worry about that. Let us worry about that, Mr. Anthony. Don't worry too much about that.
We got you.
Once you're out, everything else is above the Department of Corrections payment. So don't worry about that, because everybody wants to have their nose in where you're going or what you're doing. But once you get released, you won't have to worry about that anymore. So you'll still have supervision, but that comes with restrictions, and that's okay. But my thing about it is you'll be able to go and come almost as much as you please, but we have to worry about getting you programming. We definitely have to worry about getting you housing. So let me work it from my end. And believe me when I tell you, you'll hear from me long before that time. And you'll receive a card that has my name and my contact information from the organization that I work with. And then we'll go ahead and be able to take care of you.
Okay, and there's something else I would like to share with you.
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'll do is I have the information, I've written it down. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and do what I'm gonna teach you how to do, which is a Google search when you get out and after you have your phone, and then we'll go ahead and find our information. And then we'll find out how to get you there. But like I said, let me work on it from my end this week. And then you'll be able to hear from me from Corey or from another of the friends that you have, the community that you've created inside. So don't worry about it. I'll make sure to reach out to you. Okay?
We're gonna make sure you're fine, your family for life, okay? Yes, it is. Yes. Yep, I do understand what you're saying, and you, the way you are helping is sharing your story, because a lot of people do not share, and you sharing your story is going to help other people, and I thank you, and I'm grateful for you allowing us to be in your life to help you and to understand what goes on behind the wall, because yes, I fortunately have never been in prison, but I know that you guys, y'all go through a lot. And I appreciate that you know, openly sharing your story with us. And definitely when I interview you for the magazine, you could, you just go ahead and just let us know, how we can help others. And that's how you help others, by telling the story. You're gonna be a mentor to a lot of people because, yes, and I appreciate the fact that you said that you needed mental health, because a lot of people don't think they need mental health when they come home, or even while they're inside. And I can only, I can't even imagine the mental stress that it has on you guys. So I applaud you for even sharing that with us now. So I thank you so much for that. And I'm just so honored to just know you and know that you're gonna come out and you're gonna do amazing things. I know you are. So I'm so happy for you. Again, I'm still praying hard for you guys. I know it's gonna be, you're gonna have some days where you're gonna try, be down or low, but my number is open to you 24 hours a day. You can call me. I mean, when you come out, you can't do that in there, obviously. But when you come out, you will be able to call me 24 hours a day. Even if you say, I'm having a rough time, I need a chocolate bar, I'm coming to bring you that chocolate bar, okay? But you can. But you can. You're fine.
Every day they're saying there's something that more. Right.
Yes.
So that, the emails that I've been doing, I haven't ignored it. I'm just, I've actually spent looking for the time.
Yes. Yeah. That's fine. I understand, yeah, because my husband, yeah.
Yeah. I'll be good. I think I'll find out, man. You get the back with
Okay.
I might call, but I will try to be that.
But you can. I'm telling you, I'm here. You're fine. You are fine, sir. Trust me. You are fine. Anybody else want to say anything to Mr. Blake?
Mr. Blake, don't worry.
Don't
Don't worry. Right? Don't worry. You can't worry.
Oh my God, I have my group, my crew of girls, my women that I love them so much, but they don't talk at all. They need me to do all the talking.
Yeah. You do all the talking, you do all the work.
One thing I just want you to know is, for me, the worst is over.
Yes.
And I want you to understand that the worst is over. And what I need you to understand the most is, I know you want to contribute, and I know you want to bring a lot to the table with your narrative. I need you to be a little selfish right now, and let's start working on you.
Yes.
So let's start working on these little pieces, and then what we'll do is we'll get you how to crawl. Then after that, we'll stand you up on your own too, and you'll take one step at a time. And before you know it, you'll be all ripping and running. But I want you to let you know, though, that we have to make sure you understand that let's start worrying about you. Okay?
Okay, Mr. Blake. Yes.
Yes. Listen, I know it's a lot, and I want you to understand that I know what you're going through. I've experienced it. After 20 years, me finding out I was going home, I understand what's going on. And I can imagine it's probably 10 times worse after 46 years. So what I want you to do is understand is that we know what's going on. You can work on going to phase 3 and speaking to Mr. Wilshire, who's someone that I know very, very well. Yeah, so he's somebody that you can talk to, and that's somebody that also is part of the Westchester community. So what he can do is he can go ahead and make sure that to put you with a lot of the resources that you need in order to make sure you could assimilate back into Westchester County and make sure we can get you what you need, okay? So yeah, it's possible. It's something that we can definitely talk about. Now, I think that right now will be enough for now. But what, like I said, I'm going to be in touch, and you'll be able to hear from me through a lot of different people that you do know that you're there with right now, and we'll be able to get you in the best position to win. And I look forward to seeing you in person.
Yes. Yes. You just be you, and like Wilfredo said, the worst is over and the best is yet to come, and we look forward to seeing you.
If I need anything for you to do, I'll definitely reach out and let you know. But right now, let's just work on, why don't you just work on getting to the 18th? And then after, what we'll do is we'll go from there.
Okay, and all right, and as time go on, I guess once I get the information, I'll let you know what, the steps I'm taking, all right?
Absolutely.
I guess that'll help, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Anthony.
Thank you.
You have yourself a good one, Mr. Anthony.
Yes. Yes.
You look fine, Mr. Anthony, you look fine. Everyone, you look fine, trust me. And Denora, I just no, Denora she loves you so much. She told me to tell you hello today, and she's gonna come back next week to visit you. So she's gonna be coming until you come home. She's gonna be coming. When I come, she's gonna come. Okay. All right.
I enjoyed, what I enjoyed, because I was just hoping we were sitting closer.
I know they may be mad, but next time I'm gonna be trying to sit closer to you guys, but it doesn't even matter because you about to come home and we're gonna have a party. We're gonna have a good time. All right. Thank you. Yes, we did. They all love you. We all love you. We praying hard for you. And we thank you again for allowing us to be a part of this journey. And I'm gonna look forward to interviewing you for the magazine. and putting the article together. I can't even talk. Article together. But we're gonna let you go. And thank you for calling in, Mr. Blake. And I'm gonna talk to you soon, okay? All right, thank you.
Good night.
Good night. That was good. And like I'm just saying, and everybody, and I don't like the fact that people act like it can't happen. You can hear in his voice that he's afraid. I don't hear. Like I said to myself, that, but Wilfredo, you're different. You're talking.
I don't think it's afraid. I think it's just apprehension.
Well, no,
Because he survived. He survived 46. I know.
He
He survived 46 years in prison.
Yeah, I know that, but he
Under
doesn't know.
mental health conditions.
Right,
And I'm talking about decades of trauma
right,
that started from the
Exactly.
70s,
right.
how
So now,
prison was in the 70s,
right,
to the 80s,
right,
how prison changed in the 80s,
Right.
how prison changed in the 90s,
right,
and how currently this K2 Deuce Head era that's right now in the 2000s.
right. So this is what I'm saying to you. When you just said all that to me.
Yeah.
I'm saying he would, I'm not gonna share everything he wrote to me in the email, but he is afraid. And he's afraid of, and I'm afraid. That's why I said, the world is scary, but I said, he ain't gonna be no Shawshank Redemption on my watch. And I meant that. And everybody can say what they want. That's what I think. That's why I told him my phone is open to you 24 hours. I don't care what it is, because my phone is open to them 24 hours and they're not even in prison. And they call. So I don't care. I'm here for a reason, and it's a support system. He could be my dad, like he's gonna be 70. And I know, and that's Shawshank Redemption, and I don't know, and yeah, that was a different era, but the fear and everything else and the trauma is still real. And I know, because he was scared on the floor yesterday. He didn't know how to act or what to do. Am I lying? He didn't know what to do.
And why I bring in context to it, right, is because if you haven't, say take a child's never ridden a bike before.
Right.
When you first put a child on a bike, there's a fear of falling. And then what happens when they fall, what happens when they realize that they didn't die, they get right back up and they get right back on the horse.
Right.
So you have,
Exactly.
exactly. So the thing is that what you have to understand is now, and it's not even understand, because I feel it's context, because everybody have everything different about the situation. But the thing about it is what happens is this man never went on a visit before until this past week.
Yeah.
So what happens is that's human interaction.
Right.
So what happens is all he's known is to interact with people that either wore a pair of blue slacks or somebody that wore a pair of green slacks. So now all of a sudden he has to come out and he has to psychologically morph himself into turn around and come back into a society that's running 1,000,000-mile-an-hour routes. So then what happens is now is he realizes that a lot of the people he had told Pammy earlier, he said a lot of the people that were part of this, he talked about the gospel mission home are deceased. Like that really took me to a point where I was saying to myself, wow, someone has now survived 4 decades of prison.
Yes.
And everybody that he thought was support is deceased. So to me, exactly. So he right now, he said something that was real important that I wrote down. He said, all that time when I was going through mental health, I was reaching out, I wasn't lashing out.
That was big, because some people lash out.
Exactly, because people in administrative positions consider when someone from mental health lashes out, that they're really doing it because they're not reaching out. They're doing it because they're acting out. But the thing is though, is that he doesn't know how to communicate the normal psychological way we all do due to the 4 decades in prison. So what happens is now is he has to come out now and he has to assimilate. You see how he took to the warmth that she had and the warmth to the person of the visit. And see, for me, I detach myself a little bit from the emotion because I have to keep it corporate for the entity that I work for. But at the end of the day, it still comes that a component of me realizes that he's gonna have to deal with so much residential that it's gonna take RAP, it's gonna take the Osmond Association, and that's gonna take that $30 million non-for-profit to go ahead and put their money where their mouth is and invest some time in that man. Because that man did 47 years. Because what I won't stand for, me myself, is that any entity or prison advocacy group will turn their back on.
They better.
I will be on every social media platform that exists,
That's
on
right.
every Zoom call that I've ever been on, to make sure he gets his adequate ration.
I was thinking it was over the news.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll actually make the news because, and we're gonna talk about it, because we're gonna segue. The narrative's changed now. So with all the pressure we've put on the package ban, all the pressure that we put on the fake news with all these contraband coming in from the prison violence task force, this is now changed now that Docs and Anushi has taken now the same place that interviewed us for the focus interview on the package, that all of a sudden they started to talk about contraband. Because now the ACLU New York faction is now involved with it, because, and also too, David Werprin has now said all of a sudden now, you can't show me no data. So I'm gonna pull up on my phone, because now we finally have something here. Alex Soro. Alex Soro is now a Fishkill correctional officer that was arrested by the NYPD for buying $9,500 worth of drugs on the street. So here I was, because I play chess, I don't play checkers. So here I was saying at the beginning of this whole thing, prison violence task force or retaliation for Hawk. Here we have the New York Post, the only New York publication that printed this digitally. They didn't do it inside the newspaper, I didn't see it. Digitally, they finally said now, here is someone that has been caught now buying drugs. This guy wasn't Pablo Escobar. He used $9,500 to buy drugs. What you think that $9,500 worth of drugs was going for? It's not going for nobody on the street. He was bringing that right into Fishkill so he could go ahead and sell it to everybody so they could perpetuate some type of propaganda that is coming from the prisoners and the family members so they could go ahead and reinforce the package. Right. It's like I said on the thread for the Sing Sing Family Collective that we're all a part of, is that you have to make sure to expose these clowns because they allegedly want to expose family members that are bringing in. Just recently, they had an article that said an upstate correctional facility had 12 visitors that were pinched for bringing drugs inside. Now Docs is trying to combat what we're doing because they realize now the USA Today has articles on it now. All of a sudden, it got picked up by the Associated Press and made Channel 7 News. So the same way, like I tell Pam, the work that we're doing is working because the narrative is changing. Because there's no UI report that's going to have Alex Soro bringing in that $9,500 worth of drugs into Fishkill Correctional Facility, but he got arrested by the NYPD. And the only New York publication to ever do anything or print it was the Post. Why didn't Westchester 12 pick up that story when they wanted to pick up the story about Upstate? Why didn't Bronx News 12 pick up that story, but they picked up the Upstate story? It's because Docs has strategically in place that they want to control the narrative. The narrative in place is that women, all like you, hardworking, tax-paying women, you put drugs inside items and you send them into facilities. That's why we have to stop it, because that perpetuates violence. So what about the $9,500 worth of drugs that he was going to incorporate in the Fishkill Correctional Facility?
And what about the 8 overdose inmates that was in Sing Sing in the last couple of weeks, and the packages is not coming in by us no more, but they overdose. So was it us now? No, because we didn't.
Because this is
nobody
those are non-food packages.
No, but I'm saying they used to say it was us. That's why they can't do it. The family members. Well, the family members are not doing it anymore. How did eight inmates in Sing Sing are now in the infirmary in the last couple of weeks? We don't do packages no more. Why they overdose? Not on our watch. We didn't do it. So who's getting it in? Who's doing it?
And this is the narrative that has to change.
We know.
No. It's not about no more. We know. I agree with you that we can sit here and have conjecture and we can speak about saying we know the system, the man, for all that. I have ironclad proof that I always feel when there's smoke, there's fire. Yeah. Alex Soro is not the golden goose that laid 9 eggs.
Exactly.
I don't believe in fairy tales and I don't rock with Jack and Beanstalk. Okay. What I'm saying is, if there's one person in a medium correctional facility that was buying on a correctional officer's salary $9,500 worth of drugs and was gonna risk his pension and risk jail time, what you think he's probably been making the last 5, 6, 7 years that he's been a CO?
Give it, and not only the contraband, the phones and everything else. Everything
And when
else.
he learned how to beat the system and do, because everybody comes in as an OJT and they have on-the-job training. So they have to have on-the-job drug training in order to bring this in. And it's gonna be a lot of people that wanna control this now and say, oh no, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But it's in black and white. You had a correctional officer get arrested for bringing $9,500, purchasing $9,500 worth of drugs. He wasn't gonna snort that himself. He wasn't gonna snort that himself. And my thing about it is that the most important thing about it is now is that because when we didn't have no push for this and it was just a Wendy correctional facility and it was in that Wendy hub that they were about to stop the packages, nobody cared. Then we started working together, we started coming out, we started magnifying it in the media, and all of a sudden now, there were other groups that started to now want to interview me and want to interview other people that were screaming at the top of their lungs and wanted to do op-eds. But then all of a sudden now, when I talked about the triage that was going on with the families of the women that were at the table, nobody wanted to talk about that story. Now everybody wants to talk about that story. Because last time I checked, Western Beef don't do delivery to correction facilities.
Nope.
ShopRite, Stop and Shop,
None of that.
none of it.
And we even went to Walmart. We went to Walmart and the one in Fishkill I just told you about, me, Ebony, and Carmen. We went up there and we asked them, we said, listen, if we buy the food, pack it up, can y'all ship it? She said, no, we already know. She said, y'all have to go through the website. And I said, but that's the problem with that is they can only get 3 food packages up to 40 pounds. And y'all all, if y'all sending 7, they're not gonna get all their stuff. But then the next problem is they don't send permission. So they can't get meat, they can't get the cheese, they can't get bread. So now what? Oh no, you know what it is? Now I got my insider training people that sent me the commissary list on how they were out of stock on everything. Everything was out of stock on everything. The new list is now almost double of what they pay. And we have it in black and white.
And
we have
they
it
want
right
to
here.
use the vendor that
They want us to, so they monopolizing that. That's against the law. So how do we fix that? You can't be a monopoly.
All right, so we want to be careful for antitrust and monopoly. What happens is every vendor has an opportunity to bid. But the smaller the vendor, they can't make the bid close enough to the price. So let me give you an example. So say right now, this particular bottle of soda was allowed and was sold by 12 vendors.
Yeah.
So what happens is the correctional facility puts in the bid and they say, I would like to go ahead and be able to sell this to the population at 76 cents a piece. Not that they would, but I'm just making it a price. So my thing is those particular 12 vendors are allowed to bid at the lowest price and they outbid each other. So say garlic powder. Garlic powder in the store, I say maybe
it's $1.
Maybe $1. So inside before I left, I was able to get it at 76 cents.
Now it's not. It is now $2.75.
So what happens is now, if the vendors know that they were bidding against themselves before because you were allowed to bring the package. So my thing about it is now they saying now that docs they don't have to bid against nobody and they're gonna have to purchase it anyway. Well, the price is gonna go up.
That's price gouging.
It's price gouging. It's price gouging. It's price gouging. But the thing about it is because this is why I try to say things, and I always do it. It's illegal, but it skirts the line of not being able to be flat.
Nah.
But let me ask you a question. So if I wanted to be a vendor, right? This is hypothetical.
Yeah.
Okay, women in the world, we got vendor stuff. How would I be able to do that, and how could I be able to?
Because we're about to come.
So how you would do this to the vendor is go purchase $5,000 worth of garlic powder.
Okay.
And then after that, you say, I'm selling garlic powder to the state for 76 cents a unit. And they'll go ahead and buy it. And then they'll turn around and sell it however price that they want.
That's how it works?
That's how it works.
See, that's not even cool. But not only that, you can
curse. You can curse. But my thing is this is our capitalistic society.
But let me ask you a
question.
I'm just saying, wait, let's be realistic.
Okay.
Let's be realistic for 5 minutes.
Go ahead, talk, please.
So you rather let them starve than let us feed our husbands, our family members. Let me not just say husbands because some of them are our kids. You rather let them starve than let us feed them because the vendor you want us to use is overpriced and they never have anything because even when you go on the website, they don't have anything. And when they go to sell to the inmates, they don't have anything. So what the fuck is we supposed to do?
But not only that, let me ask you this because somebody went on the Sing Sing Family app and she said she went through a vendor, 7 items was $289.
That's the Evans phone.
Evans, it is Evans.
Wait, Kate,
If
All
you
right,
find a way, if you
you have-
find a way
Go
to
ahead,
mail
sorry.
packages with a label that is not handwritten, sent by UPS or FedEx or whatever, they can get it, but that's just what we have to figure out.
Yeah, well, my thing is number one, I
No,
don't
it's
like
not
I don't like to do anything or promote anything that's legal illegal. Somebody
exactly, that you will get in trouble.
It's
And
not-
it's
it
so,
says
you can't.
if it's sent to them by UPS or FedEx or.
Okay.
No, from a vendor.
Yes.
To be a vendor.
The definition of a
No.
vendor is someone that has a tax ID.
Exactly, you can't do it.
That's what I'm saying, if you wanted to do your own way, you just have to find.
Now, what you can do is as a business venture to do, is you could turn yourself into a vendor to just
That's
ship.
not, I was going for what you said.
I'm just saying.
All right, I said, answer your question. I want to get to that. I want to get to
And
that.
then when we finish with that, I need to find out KP too. We didn't forget about you. You gotta jump in here.
Now, what I want you to do is this.
Realistically,
I
let's
see.
be realistically, they need
Okay.
to get fed at the end of the day because what the state gives them is not enough.
No,
That's
it's
all
not
I'm
even
saying.
that. If they give them 3 hats in the car, it's not what they want. It's not what they want. It's only
not
what they
what they
need,
want.
and it's not nutrition. They say let's say that.
That
But,
too.
go ahead, Wilfredo.
See, my thing is this, right? Is what I try to do is I was the loved one inside. So what I have to do is I check my emotion at the door, I check my ego. This is realistically from just a perspective of this. They look at everybody as just free labor. As long as they give them just enough, they're gonna get 10, 15, 20 years free labor out of everybody. So this isn't to fatten nobody up. This is to keep everybody just at the bare minimum. Because they get more money when people have medical conditions, when they have to turn around now, when they have to ask.
I know, because I pay taxes.
I know, but my thing about it, but my thing is that, but when it's a loved one that you're speaking of, what happens is a lot of times
You get emotional.
It's emotional.
It's emotional, and I understand that, but no, I'm not saying.
No.
What I'm saying too is,
But
a lot of the times too, we have, like you just said, you check your ego at the door, and you check, not a lot of our husbands, I need it. It ain't.
Of course,
You
because
want it.
that's
Okay.
true.
Because
But
a
here
lot
goes
of
the other thing that they don't tell you, and this is the other thing that they don't even want to put on the fucking table when we bring our packages. They take our shit.
yeah,
They take our shit.
They know that. They do know that.
you know I did 20 Jones, huh?
Okay,
For 20 years. But what I'm saying
there's
is,
nothing we can do.
when
about
I got let me give you an example.
Now
right?
they're crying because they don't get the shit that
Alright,
we used to
so let
bring.
me
You know,
let me
right?
give you an example. So the peanut brittle that always comes on Christmas that mommy always says, or grandma used to always say,
That's good.
I mean, it was always allowed, but all of a sudden someone on the back read liqueur, and all of a sudden they consider that liquor, and you can't have it.
You can't have it no more.
So something that I received for 7 years from Elmira to Wendy to Green Haven, and all of a sudden I get the Sing Sing, and they tell me no.
What is wrong with Stacey?
Well,
Why you gotta ask them?
because my thing about it is that I always feel for myself. I've been around the horn, and I feel to me that Sing Sing is so different because we deal with our own, and everybody that has melanin in their skin ain't black and brown. And I feel a lot of times people forget where they come from, and people forget how it is to be down and out, and how they have to deal with normal everyday.
This is what and that's why I said I call them out. You're not gonna be a bully with a badge with me or my loved one.
But you call them out. You call them out because and why it stands is because you have character currency. Right? So a lot of times what happens is they tend to lump everybody all up in the bush. Oh, there's something nefarious about this person. Oh, you always have to watch this person. I didn't have to do that. I decided when I was inside, crime wasn't for me no more, and I decided to turn it all the way around. I took care of little kids, I colored with little kids, I partook, I got my degree. My thing is, I turned it all the way to the right. I still know people in the life. I still know people. I want to be realistic. Everybody's not here for stealing persons. Everybody's not here for just laying up and all that. So my thing is, a lot of times they bring a lot of that motley crew with them. So a lot of times it's hard to sift through that. So there's collateral damage that happens to come out of it. So yes, absolutely, that's great. So this collateral damage that comes up has something that's more intended for that. It has consequences. So a lot of times the consequences is a lot of the trauma that a lot of the wives here or a lot of the family members deal with on the table every single day. This is what I bring to light. It's not so much the plight or no more of the incarcerated, because I think we can adapt and we can kind of move on with errors as we see from Mr. Blake. It's gamble is that you're gonna get by by hook or crook regardless. So it's gonna happen time waits for no one. But the thing is, what I'm more concerned with is the amount of triage that happens to the family members. That's what I bring to light most of all when I speak in these realms, or when I speak to these particular Caucasian people that now want to hear this particular struggle, because I bring a different perspective from it. A lot of people don't. I don't mind reliving trauma. Living trauma every day when you close your eyes. But the thing about it is that I can make someone else's trauma easier by shedding light on what I went through. Then what happens is the experiences might actually change the narrative. So it's kind of like Kay. So a lot of times she speaks about her dad, and I hear a lot of the passion that she has about her dad. I'm sure after hearing Mr. Blake's narrative, that really touched home, because I can see the way that she talks about her father.
Yes.
And a lot of the traumas he goes through, and being caught with something so small, even though it's nefarious against the rules, that he's in a segregation unit and she can't have that full contact or the contact that she used to have in communicating with him. So my thing about it is, a lot of times that lived experience trauma has to be highlighted. It has to be highlighted in different places like this or different platforms like this. Because for some odd reason, when the Caucasian people want to listen, everyone else listens. But when it's just a black and brown in the room talking and we're controlling the narrative, everybody always doesn't listen. So a lot of times I feel we need to have platforms like this, or stories like Kay, or stories like Mr. Anthony, where they're able to go ahead and highlight it, and then not have it like an op-ed where you just turn the page and you keep it moving. You need to have it in government space, because government is the primary reason that this is happening. Government institutions have been failing the black and brown since the beginning of time. And what happens now, though, is that with social media, with education, with a lot of us having degrees, we're able to speak about these atrocities unapologetically. And this is the whole point of why I come all the way to Philly, why I participate in things like this, why I do Zoom calls, why I CK, why we all talk. Because my thing about it is, until they realize that we won't stand for this no more, but being able to police ourselves. See, my thing is, I learned to police myself. So I took the power away the officer could have. I don't go to child. I don't go to the yard. I partake in higher education, commissary, and medical. The only three mandatory things I have to partake in. And FRP. And that's a privilege, it's not a right.
Yeah, FRP.
The right is to have it up and running in New York State.
Yes.
It's not a right to participate. You have to go ahead and go through the hula loops of the service, which is a whole other story. But my thing about it is, if you're able to go ahead and complete these 4 things, I give you a 90% chance to make the board, because your humanistic component is intact. So that means that I want to be the best possible version for my family. I want to be the best possible version for myself. I want to get the hell up out of here and as quickly as possible. But when you don't have these 4 things of growing enigma constantly working, and then you have more nefarious things that you're doing, and all of a sudden you deal with a lot of idleness and you deal with a lot of sport and play, that's where the box comes up. That's where keep lock comes. Those when things come in the way of road obstacles. So my thing is, I had to go ahead and figure out for myself how to remove the officer from the table. I had to take the officer off the chessboard. So now when the officers see me, they don't care what I do, because they know I'm not dealing with nothing nefarious. But if soon you develop that right there, that tough skin for you to keep it moving and realize that your family means more than everything, you're always gonna get, not you, I'm talking about your loved ones, are always gonna get caught up in something, even if they didn't necessarily do it. Because when there's smoke, there's fire inside, it's like it is outside. So that's why sometimes to me, I always work hard to let the brothers know that I work with or that I was inside with. If you're not flying right, you can't be part of my narrative. Because if you're not, what you do is you tarnish my brand. If you tarnish my brand, you take my character currency, and I can't do the work that I need to do for as a whole. Because that's the whole thing that a lot of people don't understand. I have to hear a lot of the shit that goes on inside. That them people that got in upstate that got pinched bringing drugs in, you have to see those people get arrested by the state trooper and then release their names. So now they look at black and brown coming in on the visit as everybody's doing.
Exactly.
So now if your shirt looks a little off, now you got to go ahead and step off. You might be bringing drugs, so get up out of here and go get a new shirt. I don't like the way that cleavage looks like. You'll get up out of here too. But you ain't doing nothing. I can see that because I'm looking at it. But to all of them as officers, they just look at all of us as
they're bullies with badges.
I don't want to be called bully no more. They just want to abuse the authority. A bully has an outcome.
You don't need that.
Credibility. But that's up to you to make the choice whether to stay and go.
No, this is what I'm saying. When I say bullies, like that stupid ass that was like, oh girl, your husband is on Twitter already. And I almost didn't go inside. It was so wrong.
But you know why she did that? But you know why she did that? No, she didn't do that. Why she was doing this, that she wanted to be the sole deterrent for you to never come back again.
And what happened?
Whoa, go down, Jamal.
What happened?
What I'm saying is that these particular people have been ingrained or indoctrinated with a principle that they don't want nobody coming through. They want 23-hour lockdown, 4 house in the cot, and they want to make $100,000 a year for looking at everybody through a screen. I mean, I want you to understand that, like I told you before about the phones. Don't put the phone on the tablet.
Yeah, because I didn't understand it. Now I do. Because he said if you put the phone on the tablet, they can't go outside.
Why send them out themselves?
They sit inside now.
I mean, let's feed them in their cell. They got
I don't want them to have the stuff on.
No. But you are a minority. You are a minority because everybody inside. I know what she's saying. Yo, I know what she's saying. But I'm talking about I was the minority. That's it.
I get that. You, but wait, because that means they call us all the time.
I got
No, that's not what it is. They want to keep them in their cell more isolated.
Okay.
More in the cage. Wait, they want to put it. Listen. Conjugal visits or family, she can't hear me.
Say it again.
I said, do they have family, what is it called?
Conjugal visits.
Conjugal visit.
Not that I know of. I've never experienced that.
Not where your dad is at in Florida or where you are at in Atlanta? No?
No, not that I'm familiar with. Maybe in Georgia, but definitely not in Florida.
Not
that I know.
Okay.
So my whole thing is, right, is and I laugh sometimes, is that New York is very unique. Okay. Conjugal visits, which I don't even like to use conjugal visits. The family reunion program is not just conjugal visits.
Right.
It's about my first time I went on a trailer was with my mom and my daughter and my aunt and my pops. And we had a barbecue in Green Haven, and we went out there and I was able to experience humanity for the first time in about 8 or 9 years that I was incarcerated. So my thing about it is that when I finally did get married and I finally had my trailer and I had a trailer visit with my wife, it was very different because it was a different type of intimacy. Because I was able to connect and we could cook, we could have water fights, we could go ahead and do particular things, we watch movies together, just listen to music, you could go ahead and take a bath and be able to kind of hone in on that type of love that we kind of created in the 70s and early 80s that was existing in the Black and white. That we were able to go ahead and have like love songs and be able to talk and we have tangible, realistic conversation. And a lot of the women, they unplug. They have to go zero dark for about 3 days, 2.5.
I love it.
You can't, this doesn't exist.
You don't.
You don't have none of that.
None of that.
Now you have, you know what you have to do?
Each other.
You have to talk.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's something very good. Whoa. I don't like that because women can talk about absolutely nothing for 6 hours. You gotta have tangible conversation with your spouse.
Yes,
Because you have to talk about your fears.
Yeah.
You have to talk about what you like, what you don't dislike, and you have to kind of reconnect with someone all over again because you probably never really connected with them intimately at that level, especially if you met them in prison. If you were married before, then I would say, you know what, let the pilot let it fly. But if you met your particular person while you were incarcerated,
yeah,
you don't really know him.
no,
You know what a piece of paper says.
yeah,
You know what an email says, and you know what he knows what you're saying. Because you go through that orange door, do what you want to do, and he goes through that orange door and he does what he wants to do. That's it. You don't know what's going on.
It's the truth.
So my thing is now you have to actually sit down in the trailer
And talk.
and you have to get, you know, the pleasantries out the way, whatever, put everything away. Whatever to do is to do. And you have to sit down now, you got a little bead of sweat, and you got to talk.
Yeah.
And you got to watch a movie together. And you have to deal with a person's quirks. Whether somebody snores, whether someone leaves the toilet seat up, whether someone doesn't throw out the garbage when the garbage thing.
And y'all mental stuff too, because you guys are really institutionalized, and it saddens me to see how institutionalized they are.
Do you want to see your husband wear his drawers and go in the shower? Because that's what he does. But it happens to every single man that goes on the trip.
Because I said to my friend,
What, nigga?
no, not until the second day. I'm telling you.
Even the slippers in the shower. Because we wear slippers when we go in the shower because the floor isn't clean.
Because I did that too. I said, when he called me in to give me the shower gel, he said, baby, come here. And I said,
I washed my underwear. I was in prison. I washed my underwear every time I see. Whoa, that's not a good hygiene habit. You got a close hand? Hold on a second. You got a close hand? You got a close hand? Every single bra and every single pair of clothes you wear, you wash my hand with soap. Some people do.
I don't.
I know.
But I'm just saying, you have to really be prepared for the mentally, and I'm telling you, because I told him when I know you not. When did I say to you, Roberto? I said I was so devastated because I didn't even understand it. So I said, it's crazy how he's really not. He's his world. Exactly. He don't know that.
But sis, you're combining the world.
Exactly. But he don't know. No, you what? No,
you want to too crazy because you a woman.
No, you.
And you want some nigga, you look at it crazy. I'm having to go get my machete and I'm gonna have to trust you.
No, but no, he was pushing after the second day. I know all you guys have to take
it
my
is
dad.
improper etiquette. It is improper etiquette in prison for someone, or what we call it, free balling, like a bunch of men in the street. It's not allowed. And it is met with violence.
Exactly.
I want to be clear. So everybody, I want you to understand that everybody learns this lesson. The first population population jail that they ever see is that this is not allowed.
I'm just sure. When you go on these trailers, you know it's dry or wild. So
It doesn't matter.
So psychologically, you turn personal. You turn personal.
Then they watch you sleep. I woke up and he was watching me sleep. He said, I'm telling you, it's not.
So let me give you another example. So the phone rings every time in the trailer. The phone rings at 6 a.m. sharp.
Yep, you gotta get up.
6
and
a.m.
answer that phone.
I'm up 10 minutes early when I was in it to make sure the phone doesn't ring to disturb my significant other or my family.
Yeah.
So I'm up watching TV, waiting for it to come on.
So
I pick it up, hang it up, and I go step outside.
Because that's the count.
But inside, psychologically, I have to stand up for the count. I have to turn my light on. I have to get out the bed, and I have to wait for an officer to count. So I'm already used to being up for the last 20 years.
Exactly. But the whole thing is, it's just you gotta realize you just gotta be strong for them. You gotta understand it. And now, because it's like our fourth vacation, he good. Now he good.
Well, my thing is, I never used the knife that used to be hanging on the side of the cutting board. I would take the can top that I opened up about bought some beans. I would get it opened up. I would fold it, and that's the way I chopped up onions.
Exactly.
When I was
that's because that's how they do inside.
That's what we do inside. That's my.
That became a part of y'all pattern. So
but they don't know.
Y'all used to, and we have to understand that.
That's what I said. I said the psychological.
That you like the drawers in the shelf.
Yeah, I like to ring them out and I like to hang them up.
No, but they don't understand. But I'm just saying you don't understand that until you do it. But we're about to wrap up. This was a very good. We're gonna have to recap. We're gonna come back to this again and talk about this next month. But KP2, we are glad that you was here. We miss you. You gotta take a. We gonna have to come down there, or you gonna come up here. But I hope that we find out some news and try to help you with your dad. And please send me your dad's name, first and last name, so we can put him on the prayer list. Guys, we are praying hard these next 90 days for our loved ones. And our prayer list is Mark Richardson, Henry Lawrence, Corey Liggins, Percy West, Darryl Blue, Leslie Toussaint, Ricky Caldwell, Roberto Lindsay, Bryant Russ Sr., Kim Bryant, and also, Kim Brown, and also Jamie Williams and Anthony Blakes. Please send me your dad's name because every morning.
Dwayne Parker.
What is his name?
Dwayne Parker.
Dwayne Parker is now added to our prayer list. Right here, Dwayne Parker is on, and I'm gonna give it to Apostle because she does it in her private time. I want to thank everybody again, all the women on the wall that contributed to Mr. Anthony's first visit yesterday. As you can tell, he's very humble and he's also afraid. So, and I meant what I said when I said my door is going to be open to him because we have to take care of our own, and we're supposed to be a community. And a community is not to just take the baby and throw him out the bathwater and that's it. And I'm not calling him a baby, but I know the Shawshank Redemption for me, that's a movie that is really serious. And I keep thinking about that old man that did not want to leave because that's how he sounds. And he's afraid. He wants to go, but he doesn't want to go because that old man was afraid. He tried to stay in. He was out for 2 days in the movie and then he took his life. That's not going to happen to Mr. Not on my watch. I don't care about what anybody else is doing. But on my watch, no, it's not gonna happen. And when I say my phone is open 24 hours, I mean it because these ladies, we talk 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the morning. Every day, all day. Because my phone is open because it's hard to be a prison wife. It's hard to be a prison child. Like your father has been there for a minute and I know that you have, what's the name of your book, please? Can you tell everybody how to get it?
Love Beyond the Bars is available on Amazon.com.
Yes, and the next time, please, I'm gonna order it so I can have it with me so people can see it and it helps children. Just, you know how to deal with when their parents are behind the wall because it's a traumatic experience. But again, I want to thank everybody, and it was great to be here with Mark in your great new studio. He didn't go to work. But I greatly appreciate all you guys we trucked up here from New York to Philly to be in the studio. I want to thank everybody again for being a part of Two Doors Radio, the station that's more than music, and the Women on the Wall magazine show. We are here every third Sunday from 6 to 8, every third Sunday. And also you can catch the show on YouTube, on Facebook. And you can just catch us, like I said, we will be live on freeconferencecall.com. 5 a.m. We've been doing this and we're going to do this for the 90 days. We want God to move and bring some more of our loved ones back into the free world. Thank you, Mark. You can play it.
What's going on?
Go ahead, girl.
We were praying for
We was praying for him.
Just
We was praying for him. God moved. Who cares? God moved. He was moved. Hello?
just a point of clarity, and I wanted to say it while we were live, but you had closed it. It's only 4 states with conjugal visits.
Okay,
So-
what's the place are they? Tell me.
It's New York, California, Connecticut, and Washington.
Washington State or Washington D.C., the District of Columbia?
Washington State.
So that's, and what part of Connecticut got conjugal?
It
whole
says
state?
Connecticut.
Okay, I never knew that. Okay, so that's the only 4 states that have conjugal visits.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Georgia is a no.
Okay, and so it's kind and so when your dad is too. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Mom. Yeah, so that's crazy. And so is it only, do you know about any, well, we're gonna research it the next time. Do you know how many days they get to be there with them? Like in New York, we only get like 3 days. It's from like, it's either the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
You get 44 hours. It's not even a whole 2 days.
That sounds like visitation
So
for us.
if you go on Tuesday, you get in there Tuesday about
10:30.
10:30. You get that night. Then after that, you gotta be gone 12 o'clock.
No, we get out on 30.
All right.
How many days? How many days do you visit?
It's for conjugal?
No, just period. How many days can you visit your loved
Well, you
one?
can
Oh,
visit
every
every day
day,
in New
except
York
for the
in a
weekend.
max. Every
Except
day,
for-
and then it alternates.
Yeah, on the weekends, it's like every other Saturday, Sunday, it's either like this week, Saturday was the even days. So next week, we got the Sunday. But Monday through Friday, we can go.
In Florida, you have to apply Monday, Tuesday, and I think the deadline is Tuesday to visit on Saturday.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm gonna call you. I'm calling you.
What's going on? Yeah. How you stay so strong behind the wall? No, we gon' take it to the justice system. And we gon' kick it with the innocent victims. And we gon' holler at the guilty party. Cause all we're trying to do is kill somebody. And we gon' take it to the justice system. And we gon' kick it with the innocent victims. And we gon' holler at the guilty party. Cause all we wanna do is kill somebody. If you don't hear about it, you may just read about it. But you gon' think about it, cause we about to speak about it. Why the prisons be so crowded, all filled up with melanin. Kick screamed and we